Is there a better feeling in the world than new games showing up on your doorstep? I don't think so. And today, I've got all of the mass production copies of Thief's Market that have arrived to us from our manufacturer. And we are going to be diving in to show you everything that's going to be in your copy when it arrives on your doorstep. So, I've got my big handy-dandy X-Acto knife here. Let's dig in. We're going to start with this big old package here, which should have our retail and deluxe editions in them. I'm going to try very carefully not to cut the boxes. So, mass production copies, like I mentioned, these are our last chance to kind of make any adjustments before the game gets packed up and shipped to us, and then eventually shipped to you. So everything you're seeing in here should be very, very close, if not the exact same as what you're going to find in your copies. Let's start with the retail edition. So I don't know if you can tell this on camera. The retail and the deluxe are the exact same box size, but the retail is going to have a glossy finish, while the deluxe is going to have a gold foil finish. So retail edition, we've got front of the box, back of the box. This is all looking great. Again, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a bit of a glossy finish on the yellow lettering on this kind of glowing hand here. Man, this turned out great. Let's kind of dig in to the front here. Right on top, we're going to be greeted with our rules of thievery. Nice, quick, and simple. Big goal for Pickpocket is accessibility, which means having core rule sets that are really, really easy to get through, make it really easy to get the game to the table. You'll also notice inside this box lid here, we've got a little dice tray. This matches the artwork that's going to be on the dice tray that we'll unpackage here in just a minute. All right, diving in further, we've got our deck of cards here, all wrapped up nice and shrink wrap. Let's see. These are, here, maybe I'll flip them this way. These are, we've got character cards, relic cards, heist cards, market cards. So the character cards is going to be what each of you players are going to take. They all have the same ability, just different artwork. Man, these market cards look great. So if you're not familiar with Thief's Market, it's a dice drafting game where you're going to be trying to grab dice from the pool in the middle and use those dice to turn them into points. Part of the way you're going to be doing that is to be using some of those dice to buy cards. You can spend the gems to buy cards, and then these cards are going to give you dice manipulation. So these market cards, these are kind of the cheapest, easiest cards to grab. They're going to let you manipulate a white, a red, or a blue into a green, or a white into a blue, or a blue into a white, stuff like that. Then you'll have these heist cards, which are a bit more expensive, but are going to give you bigger abilities, like turning the gold bag into any gem, turning gold bags into points, or vice versa. Anytime you buy a card, you're going to get a point per white in the cost. All kinds of stuff like that that's going to give you more ways and more opportunities to grab points. Man, these look great. And then we've got the relic cards. These are our big point cards. They're also going to be what triggers the end of the game. When somebody buys 3, that's going to be how the game ends. And these just give big points. So they might give 4, 5, 6, 7 points. They might give a point per market card you have, or a point for all the whites in the cost of your cards, etc., etc. Very straightforward. Also in the retail box, we've got our lovely stars of the show, these multicolored engraved dice. One thing we really loved about the original version of this game that came out a long time ago, probably going to do a separate video talking about the differences between the retail edition from 2017 versus this one. But one thing that we really, really loved was the multicolor engraved dice. We knew we had to bring those back and bring them back in a big way. I really love how these colors turned out. They really pop on the table. It is just so satisfying to roll all these dice here. Let's do the dice tray. Oop, I missed one. So these are going to be what you're drafting to be able to buy cards. Another big important piece that we loved in the original that we wanted to make even bigger in this version was the first player token. So we've got this really nice, chunky, screen printed wooden owl. That'll be what you're grabbing to grab first player. All right, let's see what else we've got in this box. We've got plastic bags, you'll be able to store your cards, your dice, the first player token, and last but not least, your punch board. We've got 5-point, 1-point tokens, and then punchboard coins. We really tried to make sure that these were going to be as thick as reasonably possible. We wanted them to be not too thick where they felt awkwardly thick, but thick enough that they felt really sturdy and you weren't going to run into any concerns about poor quality or anything like that. Man, these are great. Okay. Perhaps more satisfying than new mail showing up is punching out a punch board. Like, there's something really special about punching out a punch board. All right, I want to dive in. We're going to use bags to store this eventually, but I'm going to throw all this back in the retail box. And let's dive into the deluxe box. So you can check out the differences between those. That is HEIST Market Retail Edition. Next up, we've got the Deluxe Edition. Again, very similar size box. On the final version, we've already talked to their manufacturer about this, there will be a sticker on the exterior shrink wrap that indicates it's the Deluxe Edition. It'll be on the exterior shrink wrap, though. So if you take it off, it won't leave a film on your box or anything like that. Now, one thing we did a little differently for the Deluxe Edition, you'll notice the back of the box looks similar to the retail, but that back is actually a paper sheet. Let me get this out. And you'll be able to take that off. They use kind of adhesive that shouldn't really leave a film. Yeah, shouldn't leave much of a mark on the box. And pop that off so that we could have a much more full art box for the deluxe box, so you can kind of see there. This is like an alternate version of the cover that we had our artist, the lovely Vittoria Pompolani was our artist on this game, had her do an alternate cover that we use for the back of the box. So that could have much prettier. And then, yeah, look at that gold foil. I don't know if you can see that shimmer there, but man, oh man. We went really overboard with the gold foil on this box. It is on every single side, and I love it so much. All right, so biggest differences between the retail edition and the deluxe edition as I'm opening this up here. Again, we've got our rule book here. That's great. But one big difference right out of the gate, we've got a lovely insert in this box. We worked with a designer on this to make sure that everything had its space and it felt like nothing was going to fall out anywhere, no matter which way you held the box. Another big difference is these metal coins. So instead of punch board, you're going to have these lovely metal coins. They've got like a drop shadow shading on them, so they look like real metal, like used metal coins, in-universe metal coins. Those will just go right in here. We've got our deck of cards, of course. A little bit of a finger dip in the bottom there to make it really easy to get them out. And then the other replacement, instead of punch board point tokens, we've got wooden point tokens. So these are, again, screen printed, both sides. The 5s are a little bit bigger than the 1s are here. Let me open those up. Here are the 1s. The 1s are a little bit smaller than the 5s and a little bit thinner than the 5s to give them a bit of a visual difference when they're sitting on the table next to each other. They're both printed on both sides, screen printed multicolor. These just go in these lovely little slots here. One other thing I should mention about this insert is that I'm not a big card sleever, but I know that there are people that are. So we really made sure that there was plenty of space to sleeve these cards, including with the promo cards in there. Dice packed a little bit differently in here, presumably so they can fit. But still the exact same dice. They kind of slot into this insert here. A little harder to get out, but we'll make it do. Excellent. And then, again, our first player token, everything in its place. And we really worked hard to make this insert as efficient as possible for the space that was provided in the box, so that when you put this rulebook on top and close the box lid, everything is really, really flush, and it's very hard for anything to fall out. It's not going to say that nothing will ever fall out of its spot, but it should help keep the game really well organized regardless of how you store it. That was really important to us. If we were going to put in the work to have an insert design, we really wanted to make sure it was as functional as possible and made the best use of the space as possible. So, all right, I want to dive into our accessory kind of items here. So that's our retail and deluxe edition. I'm going to leave this just over here for now. We've got our promo pack. Now, if you backed on the Kickstarter, you'll be getting this promo pack for free. But I can also tell you that if you go over to our website right now and use promo code YouTube, you'll get this promo pack for free as well. Link is in the comments. You can use promo code YouTube to get promo pack for free with the retail or the deluxe edition. This is our promo pack. The promo pack, we really wanted to do some way goofier cards. So we've got stuff in here. It comes, you'll see, there's a front and a back card. Just has like product information on it, necessary barcode and safety information. Then there are 15 promo cards in here and 2 rule cards. So these rule cards are going to tell you how every single promo card in the game works. And then these promo cards, we've got, let's see, it's 11 heist cards. So these will just get shuffled into the heist deck, and 4 relic cards. So these will get shuffled into the relic deck. We've got really goofy stuff in here, stuff that asks you to flip coins, stuff that lets you copy other people's cards or gain random cards, stuff that just lets you do ridiculous conversions that seem like you wouldn't be able to do that in the regular game, but we're going to let you do it here. And then some really funky relic cards that give you ongoing disadvantages or points for certain specific conditions. Some fun stuff. They're still very much on par with the strength of the cards in the base game, but we wanted to lean into, let's make these kind of ridiculous and goofy and silly at times. So, and these will also fit. We've got the deluxe edition in that insert with the rest of the cards, along with those promo root cards. And that is the promo pack. Close that up. Last thing we've got to show off are these fun accessory pieces. Again, these are totally optional. These are not required to play the game. If you backed at the highest tier on the Kickstarter, these will be coming in your pledge. Otherwise, you can add them on our website while supplies last. We don't have a lot of extras, but we do have some. There's 2 things in this lovely contraption of bubble wrap. We've got our dice tray. Now, I have seen an earlier version of this. We made a little bit of an adjustment. This sticker on the outside of the shrink wrap. So this is our button-up dice tray. We tried to make this as big as possible while still being reasonably compact when it's flat. We wanted this to be able to be used for any other games. I know the theme of this game really leans into being an homage to kind of D&D stuff, so we wanted you to feel like you could use this for D&D campaigns. It's got these lovely metal clasps that button up, give you a nice sturdy leather dice tray to chuck all the dice in. Boom! And then your first player token will go in there as well. Part of the other reason this is so big is we really wanted to make sure there was enough space for this ridiculous amount of dice to be rolled, to be able to see everything, grab the dice that you're wanting to when you take them on your turn. It's also nice, like if you're playing on a big table, that this can be kind of passed around. So, yeah, fun, functional, great. And then when you're ready to, you just unbutton this, and it folds flat. Nice and easy to store. All right, that's the dice tray. The last piece, which I'm really excited about because I haven't seen the physical version of this yet, is our enamel pin. It's a little thing to be excited about. Oh my goodness. This was like proposed kind of last minute by one of the members of our team that it would be really fun if the Outlaws, or as we call them, the Outlaws, because they are owls. It'd be really fun if they had like a membership icon or membership pin that they wore to indicate that you were a part of their gang, or part of their kind of secret society, I should say. And we thought that's on one of the promo cards. There's a promo card in there that is the pin. And then we thought, why don't we just make a real life pin as well? And that's what we did. So we've got this lovely kind of gold finished outlaw pin. Matches the kind of icons of the points in the game, but then has that kind of gold finishing around the line work to give it really nice shine. Yeah, I really like how this turned out. And you'll notice that this kind of backing card sort of matches the card in the game that is the outlaw pin, which we thought was really fun to do. So that is everything Thieves Market. This is all looking great. Over the next couple of days here, we're going to be diving in and making sure everything is absolutely perfect. But then once it's approved, all of those games are going to get finished assembling, packed up and sent on a boat our way. And then if you backed it on Kickstarter, you'll be getting your copies in the mail. Otherwise, again, Promo code YouTube, check in the description. You can go order a copy right now. There are still plenty of retail and deluxe edition copies available. You'll be able to get that promo pack for free. If you want to watch the trailer video for HEIST Market, which we partnered with the lovely Tim Chwan to film the sweet trailer video, you can watch that down here. Until next time, I've been Cameron from Pickpocket. See you later.